Everybody say, say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, to say thank you. So Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things, Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are, you're my everything. See, I call you Jireh, Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi, you are my battle. I call you Rapha, hey, you are my healer. Say, Lord, you are, you're my everything. I call you Jireh, Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi, you are my battle. I call you Rapha, you are my healer. Say, Lord, you are, you're my everything. Uya matinyina, uya matinyina, uya matinyina. Oh, uya matinyina. Yeah, so uya matinyina, uya matinyina. Yeah, uya matinyina. Uya matinyina. Say, I call you Jireh, say, I call you Jireh, Lord, my provider. I call you Nisi, you are my battle. I call you Rapha, hey, you are my healer. Say, Lord, you are my everything. Yeah. Are you ready, everybody? All right, listen. William Ingram, come here. 1, 2, 3. I can breathe without you, say. I can breathe without you. I can move without you, Lord. I can move without you. Hey, who am I without you? Who am I without you? Say, I can live without you, yeah. I can live without you. I can breathe without you, Lord. I can breathe without you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your location. Me ma ankra bia kwaba ebe edwumedie so edwumedie ato ne din legal hour. Eno na ene adom ne nti yenya ahoden, yenya nkwa na yede ebremo. Baby biara a wo bia me ma wa ha ma wa chi ma wa adwo. Megyere se ohoye na se ohoye de a mesre we nidie mo bomoden a na fra onua bi, fra adamfo bi, fra onua ba bi. Nua bema bi o maame o papa se emre na so ye ba be kamera edi mra nsem na emra efa ye ho ye beto anamo na ye hu se nia ekọ abra home office abribia omo danda omo ho no omo dane omo ho ana ye nso abesua omo ho nsem no enti mre na so bomoden afro bi se ye ba besua ade na ebeboa ye nyina ene nso sa nso na adom yen wama yen kwan last week na enye easy but this week the twede ampa ase say ode ahoden acha yen na yetumi eba ma kwan bi mediane manyeti ene me ne menua ba ya ye maame ye sister Penny lawyer Eunice na ebetwetwe nkomo na ansa na mema na abem no mesre wani die mu adwumadi aye BWF Solicitors for enomode brayen omo no mo sponsor Thursday, Friday, any Saturday anadwo abrebia omo the legal education no eba community no se ne ebe ya se bibi ekire wa adwen a otume free education otume free na we bisa empo upese unya mmoa e de fill applications ne ade omo services bisa
wotumi yɛ wɔ application nyinaa nanso ebia na biribi kyerɛ w'adwene a wobɛtumi akɔdan ɔmo bɛtumi ahwɛ ne nyinaa mu ama wo na ɔmo aka sɛ ɛyɛ fa kɔ anaasɛ daabi akyea kakra tenetene no wɔ ha na yɛ ne sei na fa kɔ enti no services bebree a ɔmo yɛ ɛyɛ atɔ de bi a ɛnyɛ ne nyinaa na ɛtumi bɔ ne dewuro but all you need to know ne sɛ frɛ 0208 493 7340 ɛyɛ ɔmo office line no na bisa nsɛm biara a ɔpɛ sɛ ɔmo ɛhwɛ ma wo no yɛbɛma wo appointment na wakɔ akɔhu ɔmo mpɛ sɛ wohyɛ saa adeɛ yi nso ankorankora bi a aba so biara meda mo nyinaa ase na mede nkyia kɛseɛ efi studio ha ɛde ɛbrɛ mo yɛn nua bɛma Adai Taribo ɔsɛ please share the program when you join ampa wobɔɔ a na wahyɛ wobaeɛ a na wahyɛ hyɛ copy the link na fa kɔ WhatsApp contact nyinaa group chat no nyinaa fa kɔto so ka obi bɛbie bi na ɔmo nso ɔmo ahwɛ tiliduma saa nso na mede nkyia kɛseɛ ɛde ma nana etuahene anɔpɛ ma wakye abena ɔne wa asante wa papa bi anɔpɛ mi ma wakye megye di sɛ wo ho yɛ nana kofi mi ma wakye Ezekiel mete wo nka kyɛ ɛyɛ a ma mente wo nka osɔfo to yɛ ɔtɛn yo me ma me nkyɛ me kasa nyɛ tente yɛ mmerɛ no kɔ dada enti no mɛma yɛ maame lawyer Eunice akɔ aba na ɔno nso mfa nkyia a ɛmu ohwam mu ɔdɛ na ɔmfa ma etiefoɔ na ahwɛfoɔ na afei deɛ sɛ update bi ɛwɔ hɔ a watenetene mu ɛde ama yɛn na yɛhu neɛ ɛrekɔ ansa na yɛde main topic no abɛto dwa enti no mema wakɔ aba ɛma wo good morning lawyer Eunice pakyɛ oho te
Good
sɛn ɛwɔ hɔ
morning. Oh, it's good to have you back. Yeah, that Yamiasi said, and wait to me about Abeka. I hope
but
say you are feeling much, much better.
a lot better a lot better.
Yeah, that Yamiasi, because you are looking good as well. In
Thank
see,
you.
if you're not boy, dear, you better
Mm,
Yamia, I say.
saa
Maame ɛkyia etiefo ne ahwɛfo a wɔrehwɛ yɛn a wɔtie yɛn yɛda nyame ase sɛ mo nso ɛnnɛ da yi mo abɛka yɛn nsa as we do every week anaasɛ every time nkurɔfo ebisa yɛn nsɛm no na yɛpɛ sɛ yɛde updates bi etutu dwa na at least amanfoɔ ehu deɛ ɛrekɔ anaasɛ nneɛma a ɛyɛ sɛ ɔmo ɛrehwɛ na at least ɔmo ɛnya tiabia ɛwɔ ho. Nti, in regards to application processing times, dodoɔ na wɔyɛ applications a wɔrehwɛ sɛ home office foɔ no how long ɛna ɛbɛdi ansa na wɔayi ano anaasɛ wɔbɛma wɔn decision. Nti wohwɛ yɛn screen no so a yɛama the gov.uk website a akyerɛ processing times for applications and usually applications outside the UK anaasɛ inside the UK. Nti sɛ yɛhwɛ applications outside the UK a particularly most times ebi a nipa korɔ no ɛpɛ sɛ ɛyɛ visit visa application. So woyɛ visit visa application a usually ɔmo bɛka sɛ within 3 weeks of you making the application no na ɛsɛ wonya mboayɛ. But most of the time yɛyɛ biometrics with every application. So the 3 weeks will start from the time a wobɛyɛ wo biometrics now ɔmo nsa aka wo documents no. And then they also have for those who are making study visa applications into woba hanom as students are and also sir if you're making an application outside the UK almost say processing time here about 3 weeks. We are child students so at 3 weeks. So woba as short-term students, which is usually between 6 to 11 months of study, almost say 3 weeks. So we family visa ama we yere anasa wumba person almost join UK Chrome ha. Almost say usually processing time no 12 weeks. And then for any adult dependent relative child, our person or join on so no, and also 12 weeks. And then you have those under the work visa in CABA, why application, OMA, COS, and now skilled worker visa applications not take about 3 weeks. Where Obia Yama or health and care visa and so usually it's within 3 weeks no we make it that decision no. And then they have those under the temporary work visa sections. And so most of those applications, whether seasonal worker, religious worker, charity worker, creative worker, government authorized exchange or international agreement, most of those applications no 3 weeks. and nkurɔfoɔ more global talent no so anaasɛ youth mobility, Indian Young Professional Scheme anaa UK Ancestry nso so any potential individuals. Those applications take about 3 weeks to obviously process. Those under the work innovator and startup business route no so almost say it takes about 3 weeks. Most of the work categories, including overseas domestic worker, graduate trainee, secondment worker, most of all these applications, it take you 3 weeks to decide from the time obey biometrics. And then they have other visas and permits. Those are for overseas British nationals, any international sports person, any minister of religion. Almost a British national overseas, no, usually no, it take you 12 weeks. And other categories like such as international sports person, any minister of religion, no, it take about 3 weeks to process from the time I obey or biometrics. And then when you look at applications that most of the time, yeah, within the UK in see ABA or would see UK Chrome Hanum no wayɛ wɔ application wopɛ sɛ wohu time a ɔmode decision no bɛba. Ebinom a ɔmo ɛtena UK kurom ha with visitors visa na ebi as biribi asi ɔmo bɛyareeɛ nti ɔmo apply for extension. Ɔmo say usually that will take about 8 weeks to decide. But sɛ wowɔ UK kurom ha na ebi a wo switch to student visa anaasɛ wotoa so with wo student visa because ɔmo ama wo cars. And usually those decisions take about 8 weeks. And as a child student also and also take it about 8 weeks. And nkurɔfoɔ a wɔn ayɛ partner application ebi a wo 2.5 na wayɛ no based on just the partner route and no almost say it takes about 8 weeks. But so woyɛ application no based on your private life and anaasɛ woyɛ parents of a British child and anaasɛ settled child and no it take it 12 months into it take it 1 year for them to process. And nkurɔfoɔ a wɔyɛ applications as children because ebi a wɔn papa anaasɛ wɔn maame ɛyɛ British ɛno no take it about 8 weeks. And wɔn adult dependent relatives a wɔn ɛte UK kurom ha wɔn nso wɔn application no take it about 8 weeks to decide. Nti those within the UK ne deɛ it takes slightly longer. Let's put it that way. It's a skilled worker route no so now we UK and now apply for extension now. Almost say take about 8 weeks unless you are applying under the health and care system. And so and no it take it 3 weeks. And then those under the temporary work visa route, some more UK na more process here. They say and also take it about 8 weeks, which is roughly 2 months for them to make a decision. And most of the work categories now almost one on, so the processing time is still within the 8 week period. Nti sɛ wokita work visa and skilled worker visa and as a students and as a graduate route visa dear, most of those applications take about 8 weeks, which is about 2 months for them to process. Into innovator founder route, business startup, overseas domestic worker, secondment worker, most of the work categories nyinaa no it take you about 8 weeks to decide unless you are making a British national overseas application within the UK. No, almost say it take you about 12 weeks, which is almost about 3 months. But all the other categories within the worker routes and answer most of the immigration applications in there, it take you about 8 weeks unless all your application within the Turkish business route and not Turkish worker route, which is a very small amount of people who will be making those applications and only take it 6 months. But the OE application as a parent and as a OE application on the under the private life routes there, and on it take it the longest, almost say 12 months. In see yeah share also na say yeah application is not decision na mbantem there in him say because say omwaka say e take this period of time no na yenya ahobase ne sa patients na yede be train na omwa make your decision. So of course cover that period then there you bet to me at wrong bet to me I complaint bet to me so ama wo MP who say ɛna akɔsi nti wopɛ sɛ ɔmo make a decision no as soon as possible. Nti I know say when it comes to these processing times, nkurɔfoɔ pɛ sɛ ɔmo hu sɛnea ɔmo bɛhu sɛnea ɔmo bɛ plan it out ɔmo nneɛma. And then when it also comes to your e-visas, with our e-visas no deɛ, dodoɔ naa ɛda so ebisa sɛ when it comes to your e-visas no, ɛyɛ den ɛna yɛka ne sɛ yɛbɛtumi ayɛ ansa na yɛakɔ. Patro, monim sɛnea moyɛ share code ɛma mo employers. Sɛ mokita rent sharehold tenancy anaasɛ tenancy agreement a estate agent so ɛbɛgye mo share code. Into the same way a wobɛyɛ share code ama mo adwumamfoɔ no ɛne ebi a estate agents a ɔmohwɛ sɛ wobɛtumi arente dan no. That is the same way ɛna wobɛyɛ share code ama nkurɔfoɔ no a ɔmowɔ British Heathrow anaasɛ Gatwick anaasɛ Stansted na ɔmotumi ɛhwɛ wo records na wɔawura mu. Because at the end of the day, almost say biometric cards no, almost nhwɛ no no biom. They are now going to go by wo e-visa. And our e-visa no nso saa share code nkurɔfoɔ bebree ɛka ho asɛm a ɔmoyɛ ma ɔmo employers. Nti sɛ mootu kwan na mo so mo ba back a, make sure say wayɛ either screenshots of the share code number anaasɛ wakɔ wo e-visa no so ɛkyerɛ wo picture no, ɛkyerɛ mfe ahe a wɔde ama wo ɛne conditions ɛka wo asetena no so. Nti once you have done a screenshot of that, sɛ ebi a woba back no woanya internet, wobɛtumi akyerɛ mo saa number no, wobɛtumi akyerɛ mo screenshot of w'anim ne wo asetena no a wowɔ ne biribiara. So that at least sɛ ɔmo enter ɔmo system no mu a, ɔmo bɛtumi ahu sɛ sei ne sei ɛna nipa no wɔ. Sɛ ɛyɛ wo passport anaasɛ wo biometric card ɛna wode login in so a, ɛyɛ sɛ wokita saa passport ɛne biometric card no, because ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo hu sɛ ampa saa ID wei ɛna wode login in to wo immigration e-visa no so. Nti mepamokyɛw bebree, monyɛ saa adeɛ no ansa na moatu kwan anaasɛ mokɔduru baabi a moaduru no na mowɔsan mo akyi aba back a, make sure sɛ motumi ayɛ saa share code no. Yɛda ama ase.
Okay.
Nti
Yeah, Eunice, where the answer now be call with the share code. No, person me a confirmation bi wɔ ha. Now, say if
yeah,
you are able to generate the share code for your landlord, and I say estate agent, no, and I ubetumi generate it for your employer, and
yeah,
for whatever reason you can generate the share code. That confirms say why ye visa, patcho. It is a
part-time. Yes, because the e-visa is just your online immigration status. Ɛkyerɛ w'asetena no a wowɔ no.
okay. Na obi nso ka sɛ wakɔgye visa ɛwɔ Ghana ɔde ba kurom ha. Na
Mhm,
ne nyinaa sisi ano, ne nyinaa yɛ share code.
mhm.
Yɛmaa no visa wei ne tare ɔsi yɛ ama no hwee antare ne passport ma ɛno ase yɛsi share code. Na how is that true? In fact, for that very one deɛ minim. Sɛ wode wo
Okay.
passport bɛkɔ na yɛmfa hwee ntare mu na ɛno ara sɛ ɛsi ama wo share code to travel mpatwɔ saa na ɛte ana.
So usually, no, so we application for visa, they will give you an entry vignette in your passport. Say ABR, you have ABR 30 days or 3 months to enter. Into not there, almost the paper passport. No. But as to whether you will get a card, you will not get one. Into so when you with decision letter, no better will say the asetena wei ɛna wɔde ama wo from this time to this time. Nti sɛ wopɛ sɛ woyɛ wo e-visa na you have to log into the government website. Wo reference number na wɔde ma wo for application no, you will say ɔmo ama wo decision which was after the 30th of after the 1st of November 2024. And then you continue with the questions and then you put in your application reference number because they know say you had a particular passport what the year application. No? So you will use that same passport when you're creating your e-visa and then you use the reference number. It should be able to generate wasitna no for you, regardless of the fact that they haven't given you any biometric card. And I say, or more, I'll be I would the best start with your e-visa. Most people who have been granted are able to do it. In see, I've never heard of anybody who says, say, oh, my money decision letter, one went to me and e-visa. No, they all have been able to do their e-visa, regardless of just the fact that, oh, mama, sad decision letter. No, and see, it is possible to make your e-visa just by getting your decision letter.
Oh, okay. And you all can, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Only make visa no na me say ja me visa recently, so I have no idea what is happening currently. Our
Why?
Ghana embassy hono mo nti no. Na just say share code and visa ne there is everywhere.
Yeah.
And now passport ne there no say ukra to know
Yeah.
say you have a passport to travel, but the visa it be boom ni ade ade is now visa it's a for any share no so because here papa and I do na akọ holidays are mobile no one question answer akọ topic ne so say who derive share code now sometimes it comes with an expiration date so enti say
Mhm.
why share code no na wako Mbia wako Ghana and now for whatever reason you've spent it maybe more than the time I share code no. Does that mean I want to mean fair no but you have to generate a different another share code and send out to me there but you say net here.
Yes, so with most share codes, Becca said time period na valid for 90 days. And I said,
Mm,
oh yeah, share code na ama airport for now. There's always
mm-hmm,
three categories. They always put work and I say rent and I say
mm-hmm.
other. And to say who
Okay.
generates ama any other thing now, who be click other
Other.
because we are
Oh,
share code for a jubilee for now they trap airport for now
it will
and
not
work
work.
him out.
Okay.
And I said,
Okay.
o click rent na o de ma airport for na and
And
code
work
ni
it.
and working more.
That's
Until
it.
you have to make sure that you click other. And then once
Mm,
you click other no, a generated share code na, then it will
to
be able to
travel.
work for any other institution apart from a
Mm,
Juman for ne conform
renting.
with state agents. Until you have to
Oh.
make sure that it is within the 90 days. Say a bro 90 days na any Juma.
Okay. Yo, yate ase sheko yegu so a esuasua ho ade. Insan se nkrofo bebre na etu kwan na bi mo ba na omo ho e kire omo e wo airport a. E be ha adwen pa. Nti if you know in and out of this share code e-visa business na, you are good to go in and out. Ah, ho beto. Yo, etefo na ahwefo. Me da masi update na ye de abremo. Ama mre ne ko but it's worth it knowing the days that you have to wait for when you apply for any visa at all no you know the days or the weeks or even months you need to wait for ansa na wɔn nsa aka nti sɛ mbaeɛ a ɛyɛ ana mo ha lawyers no ɛna ma yɛ application na ɛbɛba da bɛn na ɛbɛba da bɛn it's all online wokɔ a you can know wohu kyerɛw a wogye information yɛ a lawyer de ama yɛn yɛbɛtumi de asɛn ne ama wo, na woehu sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a wɔasom bɛdwo nti sɛ yɛama wo sɛ 12 weeks ansa na you get respond na sɛ 12 weeks ne so na ɛmbaeɛ a then you have to do what the necessary procedures a ɛho ebi yɛ rap anaasɛ biribi foforɔ na wayɛ na ɛno no wama home office foɔ aso ate sɛ ɔmo akyɛ ɔwɔ nkrataa ne so nti yɛbɛahyɛ ɛno nso lawyer Eunice yɛbɛda ase yɛ sisi yɛbɛkɔ yɛ main topic ne so na ansa na mɛkɔ so no no maame shout out to number of you a maba so no Sarah S Fraser good morning and lawyer Eunice and lady Manye medasi ye meje so papa sanso na ya maame auntie Helena I say good morning lady Manye T and lawyer Eunice more grace and strength and God bless you for your dedication for this legal our business. Oh, Mama Helena, Nyamesha, Sansuna Dakasadum. Hey, Mama Do, Metun catch it, Metun catch. I say, hiya, lawyer Eunice and Manye Nati. Nyame nhyira mo. Mon keep on sharing. Ezekiel Johnson, benka ake ohama noe. Ezekiel Sofo kefi ama noe no asitile juma. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Yo, good morning. Let me stop from there. Na dudo na bas na I'll still acknowledge you. Don't worry. Na yenko yen topic ne so. And then ne ba be kan producer odi to so mamia. Ebe me de. And say my application bebree na we deɛ mepɛ sɛ meyɛ me indefinite leave to remain ɛna ansa na wobɛyɛ indefinite leave to remain nso no saa visa wei no nhyehyɛe ɛwɔ ho nhyehyɛe ne sɛ ɛmbia na one point in time no o visa bi expire a wentumi apply ntɛm ɛma mmerɛ ɛbɛgu mu anaasɛ bi kora mpo a wotu kwan kakra bi days bi ɛbɛfa mu a ne nyinaa ɔmo count kyerɛ sɛ saa indefinite leave to remain nankasa nhyehyɛe bebree wɔ ho. We've learned so much about it ɛwɔ yɛn previous education ne mu na sisi a nea akɔba ne sɛ wopɛ sɛ wo apply for indefinite leave to remain but one point in time no Oliver okita no mbia ɛho tinkyima kakra anaasɛ expire ansa woyɛ the next application ɛna yɛnim nso sɛ wo visa bi expire home office saa days na expire no ɔmotumi de twe w'aso nti ɛnɛ yɛnhwɛ na yɛmbisa lawyer Eunice say can I still apply for my indefinite leave to remain if at some point my leave expire before I apply again. Enti no yɛnhwɛ saa asotwe bi na ɛyɛ ananka first home office de ma yɛn no sorry yɛnhwɛ sɛ still sɛ mpɛ sɛ meyɛ saa indefinite leave to remain na me visa ɛwɔ some point no expire ansa meyɛ application foforɔ ɛbɛtumi affect me na affect me wɔ kwan bɛn so ɛna sɛ affect me nso a ɛdɛn na mɛyɛ na mede asinsan me ho nti mebisa saa nsɛnsɛmfoɔ yi na lawyer Eunice ɛnkyerɛkyerɛ yɛn mu na afei yɛhu nea ɔsɛ yɛyɛ nti lawyer Eunice mesɛ bisa wo saa question yi bio can I still apply for indefinite leave to remain if at some point my leave expired before I apply again patcho wadaroma ɛdɛn na wobɛtumi aka anaa akyerɛkyerɛ yɛn ho afa ho patcho
That's a bebree man yɛ. I think say most people ebia for one reason or the other no ebia ɔmo ayɛ application ɔmo ehu sɛ time no ɛbɛ so akɔba ne sɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ application for further leave to remain but ɔmo asetena no ewu say at least ɔmo yɛ ntɛm na ɔmo yɛ application no na ɔmo de tum because ɔmo anhwɛ ɛna afei de ewu nti ɔmo ɛsan de foforɔ atum and sɛ kɔba ne sɛ ebia yɛn ka ne sɛ since 2020 no most of these applications became online applications nti ɛma nkurɔfoɔ bebree started sɛ ɔmo ankasa ɛbɛyɛ application no because na first ɛyɛ paper application nti na nkurɔfoɔ hu ne sɛ ɛyɛ den too much sɛ ɔmo bɛfili saa paper application nti ɔmo de ba online no covid adahoro ɔmo de ba online no ɛna nkurɔfoɔ bebree ehu sɛ ebia adeɛ wei ɛnyɛ so difficult ebia me nso metumi ayɛ and so with that in mind ebia normal fill application no ebia ɔmo time no krampo nso yɛ ɔmo nkrataa no nya nwuyɛ ɔmo de akɔtum ɛna ebia home office no they have reasons to check if an application is valid or not nti one of the reasons may be say ebia one fill it saa consent form no because there's always a consent form a ɛsɛ wo fill it sɛ woyɛ application to the home office because ɛsɛ ɔmo tumi enya consent in regards to whether they can check your documents ebia wo check wo email wo de akɔma ɔmo atwɛn wo saa sɛ wobɛ complete saa consent form ɔmo asend wo email sɛ complete na fa send ɔmo nhu yɛ nti ɔmo nso ɔmo reject wo application na ɔmo de abrɛ wo back sɛ one complete consent no nti ɔmo ntumi and verify wo documents no nti saa yɛ application no bio by that time no wo so wasetena na ewu woyɛ ne dɛn to them no so ɔmo yɛ ɔmo asɛdeɛ nti ɔmo ayɛ deɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ sɛ wo na one pay attention so a ɛno nso ɛyɛ w'asɛm nti there are different reasons why for instance obi ɛbɛwɔ asetena ɔsan yɛ asetena ne biom a ne nsa anhyɛ da anyɛ ntɛm na anyɛ application no within the time. Of course, COVID at that room, there were people who could not come into the UK on time to make their applications. And no, dear, almost exceptions in see when it comes to COVID, dear, because of the fact that see, I'm on you have that excuse to rely on in regards to not making your application on time. But if I say share deɛ mmara no ɛka na yɛhu nneɛma a yɛbɛtumi ayɛ afa yɛ applications no ho because dodoɔ no in this short space of 1 week I've had about 3 calls in regards to nkurɔfoɔ a wɔayɛ indefinite leave to remain application a home office aka kyerɛ wɔn sɛ they are not eligible to apply for indefinite because of gap a aba wɔn leave to remain and as a qualifying period in until they are not going to be granted indefinite but some more 2.5 as before until you say you nneɛma a ɛbɛtumi aba saa break ne ntam na sɛ yɛyɛ indefinite leave to remain application a yɛbɛtumi avoid saa nneɛma wei sɛnea sɛ saa time no so for indefinite na yɛbɛtumi nso ayɛ saa applications no nti sɛ yɛhwɛ yɛ appendix continuous residence a ɛno ɛfa most applications a yɛyɛ wɔ UK kurom ha nti sɛ woyɛ indefinite leave to remain application whether by long residence settlement family life under the work route even under ancestry route most indefinite leave to remain applications no you will have to look at saa appendix continuous residence sɛnea wobɛhu the way a wobɛtumi acalculate say wo 10 years no aso anaasɛ wo 5 years no aso a nti if you are making an application for indefinite leave to remain na woanhwɛ saa appendix continuous residence na woantumi ancalculate sɛ wo time no aso a ebia na ayɛ difficult kakra ama wo and most of the time sɛ yɛkɔgye indefinite a mbra no ɛhwɛ the fact sɛ watena hanom lawfully ɔmo nhyɛ da ɛnkyerɛ what the lawful residence anaasɛ presence in the UK no ɛteɛ but at least they say what it is not nti sɛ watena UK kurom ha na for instance wote hanom a wonni nkrataa yɛma wo nkrataa sɛ tena kurom hanom a you are not living here lawfully anaasɛ wote kurom ha na ebia for one reason or the other wofiri kuro foforɔ so ɛna wode baeɛ nti you are an illegal entrant ɛno no saa no nso you are not living here lawfully nti most of the time anytime at which you have not been granted leave to remain or for instance for one reason or the other ɔmo aka kyerɛ wo sɛ ɔmo detain wo anaasɛ ɔmo exclude wo anaasɛ ɔmo deport wo those are reasons for them to say ɛndeɛ wonni asetena wɔ kurom ha you are not living here lawfully nti sɛ if any of those apply there then wonim sɛ w'asetena no a wowɔ wɔ kurom ha no is not lawful but sɛ wonim sɛ wowɔ asetena a wode te kurom ha deɛ a na wonim sɛ ɛndeɛ asetena no a wode tena kurom ha no ɛyɛ lawful sɛ yɛka sɛ ebia w'asetena no a wode tena kurom hɔ ɔmo hwɛ the fact sɛ wowɔ continuous residence nneɛma two ɛna ɔmo hwɛ they are looking at whether wetu kwan into whether you've been absent from the UK for a certain period of time anaasɛ ebia wedi bɔne bi a ɔmo dwen sɛ ɛbɛbu saa 10-year break na anaasɛ 5-year break na ɛyɛ sɛ wowɔ so ansa na wetumi ayɛ indefinite leave to remain into these two main things we'll look at it in parts into ebia wetu kwan outside of the UK watena UK for a period of time wetu kwan and most of the time yɛn say when it comes to making applications for indefinite leave to remain on any route ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo hwɛ sɛ at least within a 12-month period no unto kwan for more than 180 days. Into 180 days is almost 6 months. I guess 6 months, but it's almost 6 months. Into no no sano almost say within that 12 months now almost amount no ebia yamao ebia 10-year route for each year of the 10-year route now also no unto quite more than 180 days within each 12 months. Nti sɛ ebi a woda different routes no so ebi a na first woda student route so ɛna wobɛnya partner nti sisi a wabɛda partner route no so na ɔmo ama wo asetena saa ebi a wo 10 years aso wopɛ sɛ woyɛ application no they are going to be looking to see that ebi a woyɛ application no under the long residence route. Nti sɛ woyɛ application under the long residence a ɛno no kyerɛ sɛ woatena kurom ha for a lawful period of 10 years. Nti under appendix long residence wokyerɛ sɛ woatena kurom ha 10 years lawfully a wopɛ sɛ woyɛ wo indefinite leave to remain application. Ɛno no ɔmo hwɛ sɛ nipa no a ɔyɛ saa application no for the whole 10 years no ɔnyɛ absent for at least 548 days. And no we calculate here it is roughly 1 year and 6 months. Nti for the whole 10-year period no they are expecting say unto kwan for a period of 1 year and 6 months. Nti ɛno no saa no na sɛ wohwɛ wo holiday period anaasɛ times na wode etutu kwan no na sɛ wo calculate na ɛyɛ more than the 1 year 6 months na ɔmo ka na then you will have to look at maybe extending that time na or 2.5 no so ansa na wetumi ayɛ application for indefinite leave to remain. Nti obi a for instance ebi a ɔda parent route no so wayɛ parent route no so for the past 2.5 years, 2.5 years, 2.5 years for the past 10 years. Ebi a ɔno no because other parent route no so from the very beginning no ebi a saa long residence application no ɛmfa ne ho nti ebi a ɔno no ɔyɛ application no under yɛ appendix FM. Nti sɛ ɔyɛ application no under appendix FM directly there and they are saying say in regards to absence no it has to be say unto quite more than 180 days within sa 12-month period for each of the 10 years na ɔmo de ama no no. Sɛ ɛba ne sɛ ne absence no ɛyɛ pɛpɛɛpɛ is not more than 180 days and I say under long residence application no it's not more than the 548 days there and the udimo. Sɛ ɛkɔba ne sɛ ebi a ɔmo hwɛ whether it comes to the fact say nipa korɔ no nso nneɛma bi ɛwɔ hɔ a ama na ebu saa 10-year period na anaasɛ 5-year period di a ɔmo say when it comes to ebi a obi a wedi bɔne na yama no prison sentence saa nipa korɔ no apart from obi a ɔyɛ private life application anaasɛ obi a ɔyɛ saa appendix settlement family life application no saa wo conviction anaasɛ prison sentence no ɛbɛbu wo 10-year period no mu. Nti when it comes to obi a for instance ebi a yɛnka ne sɛ na ɔda parent route no so ɛna ɔswitche kɔɔ partner route no so saa nipa korɔ no of course when it comes to your appendix settlement family life applications anaa obi a ɔyɛ application and private life no almost say saa conviction period anaasɛ time na yɛde wo kɔɔ prison mu no ɛno no deɛ they will not say ebu wo 10 years no mu but saa period no ɔmo counte ɛno no towards your 10 years. Nti ebi a wokɔda mu 6 months anaasɛ wokɔda mu 1 year. Saa 6 months or 1 year no ɔmo bɛyi afiri wo 10 years no mu. Nti you will still have to find a way to get that lawful residence up to the 10 years na omo ehwehwɛ no. Anaasɛ ebi a woyɛ wo application no for one reason or the other na wonni asetena nti you didn't have permission to remain in the UK. So most of the time na wasetena no ewu ansa na wobɛyɛ another application a they expect sɛ wobɛkyerɛ mu deɛ nti a wasetena no ewu a afei na wobɛyɛ application. That's because there will be some exceptions if you are able to give good reasons. And then the period under the law will also allow for it. Nti sɛ ebi a na wonni asetena na wobɛyɛ wo application no nso, ɛno nso ɛma saa wo 10 years no emu yɛnka ne sɛ ɔmo bɛka kyerɛ wo sɛ wo break aba mu because wotwɛn ma w'asetena no wuyɛ ansa na wobɛyɛ application. However, if for one reason or the other, share your immigration rules now we your application no before November 2016 there. At that time, there was the 28-day period. Nti say now we your application before that date na unim say you had good reason why wo application no wentumi anyɛ within 28 days no na wobɛtumi akyerɛ mo say yes ebia say na ɛsiiɛ nti I was able to make my application within the 28 days ansa na metumi atua ka na mohwɛ my application no dia then they would consider reasons a wode ama for the application being made within that 28 days of them saying say ɔmo pɛ reason deɛ nti a wɔntumi anyɛ application no. And then when it comes to ABA, now since we now have the 14-day period, on catcher will say, okay, say oh ka say sisi adeɛ went to me enya sika no for instance to make the application. Na wo kyerɛ mu say because of sika no nti my dear no we answer na maybe application now. Then you have to show say you made the application within the 14 days. And sana of course waseta no ewu year within the 14 days and the whole year application within the 14 days and sana no anwa ka share say because 1 year application within the 14 days nti yen to me ma was asset no based on the fact say ebia oh yeah wo application no omo and to me answer and someone to me and consider route now what so no. And then when it comes especially to nkrofo for instance omo armed forces ni mu and I say omo enya ewo mo asetena ewo krom ha most of the time no so omo wo duty and I say omo aka kire omo say because of ebia duty na omo wo so nti say omo ko amanone ekohwe nyema bi a those periods of absences and I say that ejuma na omo ye nti those periods are not considered as part of the fact say ebia because normally hanenti omo to me encounter those periods towards omo indefinite leave to remain. And I say about obia for instance one reason or the other omo enim say omo work visa and I say omo those routes now, for instance, say innovator, founder, and a scale up, most of those work routes no say oh yeah application now for instance, oh yeah some sort of research because ABA will sponsor na aka say so to me enya research in a certain field answer na on way to me I share ABA edwuma na woyɛ na na sɛ sɛ ɛyɛ PhD nso so a wo PhD a woka sɛ woyɛ nti most of those would say if the sponsor has given you the permission to go ahead and do some sort of research outside of the UK there and also and also those periods of absence will not be counted towards the fact that only asetena ɛwɔ kurom ha they will still consider those periods as being lawful within the UK. And then you also have in Kofa for one reason or the other, ABI fee waiver application. And see, because of the fee waiver application now, no, they have obviously made application no before on my sister no ABU. And see, because on my sister no before the expiry date of our leave in government no ebi a ɔmo ntumi amake decision ansa na leave no ebewu nti akɔwu wɔ home office for no nsɛm ɛna ɔmo de fee waiver no aba nti ebi a fee waiver no a wo request yɛ no ɔmo ka sɛ ae yɛhu sɛ wowɔ sika bi a wobɛtumi de atua ka nti yɛmfa fee waiver no mma wo nti tua home office fees no. Sɛ ɛkɔba ne saa you still have 10 days within the time a ɔmode saa fee waiver decision no bɛba no to make an application to the home office within that 10 days. Sɛnea ɛnkɔba ne sɛ ɔmobɛka sɛ there has been a break in your lawful residence. Anaasɛ ebi a when it comes to the fact say for one reason or the other ebi a wo nso saa no nso wayɛ application there has been a disaster, a pandemic, or there has been something that has caused you to not be able to make the application, which affected everybody nationally or internationally. And also, sir, could count to say, I mean, my COVID example, no, you could say because of enunti went to me, a be an for application and to muntem, and I say you were absent from the UK longer than now, pese oko. In also sign so they will not count that period towards the fact say a be our period now or the courts now honum a break it will continuous qualifying period. And I say when it comes to a obi a ɔyare anaasɛ na ɛsɛ otu kwan ɛkɔhwɛ w'abusuani a wayare paa nti ebia na yɛ life and death situation nti they will look at compelling and compassionate factors nti sɛ wobɛtumi akyerɛ evidence sɛ ebia na wayare anaasɛ nyimpa no a wokɔhwɛ no wayare a ebia wafiri mu koraa mpo no a they can also consider those periods of absence in regards to indefinite leave to remain application because ABR that period no is longer than the 180 days within the 12-month period. And I said that period is longer than the 548 days now or more cano in see. So to make sure evidence, no more stress those compelling and compassionate factors in regards to assistance na or no. And see, there are obviously exceptions if you are not making the application in time. Nti obi a ɔreyɛ application no out of time no ɛyɛ obi a n'asetena no ewu a afei na ɔreyɛ application. Nti ɛno no saa no sɛ worekyerɛ sɛ wayɛ application no out of time na wobɛtumi akyerɛ good reason in terms of ebi a the compelling and compassionate factors na yɛaka ho asɛm yi anaasɛ when it comes to obi a due to pandemic and national environmental issues and also national or international circumstances no when to me any application in term na they will also consider that and also obi a wayɛ fee waiver wɔn de ama no anaasɛ wɔn amfa ama no na wɔn asetena no akɔwu wɔ home office for ne nsɛm no they will also consider that as well but sɛ wonni if you don't meet any of these exceptions now woka sɛ ebi a ma memfa nkɔ ebi a na 10 years na so na metumi ayɛ indefinite leave to remain application ne deɛ a then unfortunately sɛ woyɛ application no na woantumi ankyerɛ reason deɛ nti a saa gap na bɛba mu ebi a woyɛ application 1 month ansa na I mean after your leave expired and the wɔmɛka sɛ unfortunately saa 1 month na aba mu no nti yɛntumi ɛmma wo indefinite no because of saa break nti ɛsɛ wotumi ɛkyerɛ deɛ nti a saa break no ba mu sɛ woantumi ankyerɛ nso so a then it means sɛ wo 10 years na ɔmode maa wo no wohyɛ aseɛ from the time a ɔmo san maa wo asetena no bio nti ɛno nso ɛha adwene bebree because ebi a wayɛ wo 10 years wotwɛn dendenden sɛ wobɛgye indefinite na ɔmo aka kyerɛ wo sɛ oh break bɛmu 2016 o nti unfortunately because of saa break no nti yɛntumi mma wɔ asetena ɛbɛyɛ den, but you have to take it because only good reason deɛ nti a ɛbaa ne saa nti from 2016 deɛ then of course wonim sɛ 2026 ɛna wo 10 years no bɛsan aso biom nti na wayɛ ɛho mboayɛ nti menim sɛ dodoɔ no most of the time they may have good reasons, but say only good reason there, then you will just have to wait uh or do another 2.5 biom na omo ama o sa indefinite leave to remain. Nti we kakra na me pese etie and answer ayɛ ahwɛfoɔ no ɛhyɛ ne nso.
Yo, la Eunice, yeah, that's it. Me ma ompe nsuo kakra ngu mmere mu na yɛnto aso mfiri hɔ. Let's just say, when it comes to home office there, sɛnea etie biara, evidence. Ɔmo de ɔmo nka sɛ ɔmo mfa ma wo kwata o, anaasɛ ɔmo mfie o. Sɛ wotumi bɛkyerɛ nko ara sei ni nti ɛna mentumi anyɛ saa adeɛ wei a, na ɔmo hwɛ mu na ɔmo ho sɛ nokorɛ korɔgyen wɔ mu deɛ a, ɛnna ɔmo bɛgye mu de ama wo. Enti, all that we are talking about with these gaps now, it's possible you can still go ahead and do the indefinite leave to remain. No? Only say, oh, evidence ɛbɛkyerɛ say one point in time and as at point in time no, biribi sei na ɛsiiɛ. Enti no, ɛno ne asɛm a ɛnɛ yɛde abɛto hɔ de ama mo. Leonis, wonom nsuo abi, na kyerɛ sɛ, sisi a home office sɛnea ɛtie biara no sɛ wagye 2.5 anaa quarter sometimes we term it no na wadu baabi a wokɔgye wo indefinite na reasons a wode maayɛ a ɛno na home office bɛtumi agyina so sɛ daabi wantumi qualifying period no wantumi amiti no nyinaa nti no yɛmfa indefinite no ɛmfa mma wo de a sɛ saa reasons na wode maayɛ no yɛtumi ehu sɛ ɛyɛ sɛ wotumi nya evidence there a ɔmo de bɛma wo. So okay enti ma gather evidence mbia na corona sisi a 2025 corona nso mu ɛba 2020 na kyerɛ sɛ mmere wom mmere ɛwom na mmom wo during that time wotu kwan kakra wotu kwan wontumi amba lawyer Eunice akyerɛkyerɛ ne nyinaa mu nya afei na mɛsan akyerɛkyerɛ but pɛ sɛ mefa one example na wentumi amba no wobaeɛ no wankɔgye reason bia like wo passport no time a yɛde stamp yɛ nea ɛtoo wo nti a wentumi amba no wonni evidence like paper evidence ɛno ara sɛ wonim sɛ corona ne nti na wo stay wɔ hɔ corona ne nti na wo stay wɔ wo kurom ansa na afei na woba no corona no ɛyɛ clear evidence nanso ɔsɛ wonya biribi a ɛhyɛ nso sɛ ampa sɛ ɛyɛ corona no ɛna ɛma ne baa saa nti Eunice ɛba ne saa wo passport stamp evidence a ɛkyerɛ abra wode werɛ mu anaasɛ ɔsɛ wonya documentation bi from the airport borders anaasɛ Ghana like corona deɛ in particular dodoɔ no wɔ no mpɛ sɛ mehu ade pɔtee a wode bɛkyerɛ sɛ ampa corona ne nti na mentumi ambɛtoa saa application so anaasɛ gap ɛma gap bɛɛ mu menim sɛ wotumi ase a
Yeah,
I can
yeah, yeah.
say oh yeah corona ne nti but deɛ na ɛbɛprove sɛ ampa corona ne nti ɛna mentumi ameti saa qualifying period no.
Nti most of the time, I know so during the COVID, most countries close their borders. Nti it's not as if omunim and they
Mm,
have it within their guidance say
mhm,
because of the COVID lockdown, no,
mm,
most people could not travel from the I think it was 22nd or 23rd of March 2020 to the 30th of August 2020. And then
mm,
obviously they extended the period in 2021 as well. Into
mhm,
ABA, if for one reason or the other, no,
mm,
or said between that time, ending of March, no, to August, no, I mean to
mhm,
me and to quite into nuntina akobanesa ABA make to quite let's
mhm.
say January. I was meant to come back. Ube share my itinerary now. I was meant to come back ending of March, but mean to me I'm back because of COVID lockdown.
Mm,
mesan nye another ticket no na ebi a October mu hɔnom na menya
mm,
ticket a mede bɛwura mu, and
mm,
saa October no mu ara na m'asetena no nso ɛwuiɛ.
mm,
Nti sɛ mohwɛ a during that period because of the lockdown no
mm.
mentumi amba, but the only time a menya reasonable ticket ebia na ɛyɛ October of 2020 na
Okay.
wɔakyerɛ sɛ this is the only time that you were able to get a reasonable ticket. I know that at least they will consider the fact say
Mm,
between the March ending and the August no na untumi and to and
too
back.
fine.
Yes.
Mm, mm.
They know they will consider because every country had their own policy. Ebia
Yeah.
na UK there no, they were expecting flights after August, but most
Mm,
countries maybe they were actually taking their time to allow other flights to go outside of the country. Into
mm,
no, they know say it is as as a result of the pandemic. Into as long as you are able to show when you were meant to come back, when you actually got the tickets to come back, the fact
mm,
yes,
mm.
wo watch saa nneɛma wei di a ɛndeɛ ɔmo betumi ɛde ama wo. So
Okay.
showing evidence of the stamps and also what
Mm.
itinerary also helps.
Saa ɛneɛ
Yeah.
ɛyɛ mmerɛ pii nie nti a mbisa mmerɛ pii when it comes to evidence wei na ɛyɛ a evidence sɛ ɔde bɛkyerɛ no ɛyɛ a na ama ano ayɛ den ɛno a me ne obi di nkɔmmɔ na ɔse ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkɔfa ɔsɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkɔfa ne ma ɔno obi akɔware no ɛna wakɔfa ɔno aba abɛdwane ne yere wɔ ha na ne mma no nso wagya ɔmo nkwalaa nketenkete ɛna ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkɔfa ɔmo nti obisa me sɛ ɔbɛyɛ dɛ na mesi ne nyinaa when it comes to sɛ nipa ko a waware no ɛnyɛ ne mma a saa so responsibility come to play. Enti ɔde n'ano ka o ne yere no a ɔne ne nkwalaa no wagya ne dadaada nti ne yere no koraa onim baabi a ɔwɔ ne nkwalaa no wɔ ne maame hɔ na mesi papa wode w'ano na ɛka home office wode w'ano kɔka kyerɛ ɔmo a ɔmo mfiw ɔsɛ wonya concrete based evidence, so it's all about evidence deɛ na ɛkyerɛ sɛ ampa wogya nkwalaa yi ɔmo ntumi ntena anaa wo na wohwɛ ɔmo anaasɛ say you have to show it. Enti no when it comes to nea ɛyɛ nso na evidence based na ɔsɛ wotumi kyerɛ nea nti a gap ɛba a wo asetena ne mu a ɛwu yɛ ansa na woyɛ next application no. Memma me kasa ɛnkyɛ Eunice. Me last question ansa na mama etiefoɔ afrɛ abie telephone line no. Sisi a no gap aba mu. Enti home office amma me indefinite no. Ɔmo maa me yɛka ne sɛn 2.5 ne biom na me nkɔdi so. Okay, me nso mɛkɔ akɔdi so kamakama. Matena so bi a one year. Abra menim sɛ nka 10 years na menyaeɛ no mekɔgye indefinite nanso no mantumi anya qualifying period no yɛasa ma me 2.5 biom maayɛ din makɔ akɔdi so mewɔ so a menya 1 year mea mehu sɛ 1 year mu yi mentuu kwan kɔɔ baabiaa nti sɛ mede saa 1 year yi kɔka me 10 years na kyerɛ sɛ menya 11 years anaasɛ even po 11.5 mɛtumi asan akɔ atwa like nea aka no visa na aka no mɛtumi abypass aka sɛ nea aka no ho nhia me bio mpɛ sɛ menkɔgye indefinite until I still have like a year to expiring them nanso mɛtumi akɔ akɔyɛ indefinite application based on sɛ sisi a no menya 11 years mentuu kwan mɛtumi atwa qualifying period no is it possible that way anaasɛ home office deɛ ɔmo mfa saa adeɛ no ɛnka ɔmo way no ho ɔmɛka sɛ twa 2.5 no nyinaa ansa na wetumi aba yɛ indefinite na ana mpakyɛw.
Yes, it would depend on baby a break ni by. Nti say ebi a wo yeah wo 2.5 no break ni ba mu 2014. Then it will mean say ebi a say 2014 March mu hɔ no ɛna wo
Mhm,
asetena no wuyɛ. Wokɔyɛ
mhm,
wo application ebi a later on in May.
mhm,
Nti since May no na sɛ wotwɛn saa ma ɔmo decision ɛba.
mhm.
Nti saa May 2014 na woyɛ application no ɔmo amfa decision amba until ebi a May 2015.
Okay.
It means sɛ w'asetena no ɛsan asie biom from May
May
2015 no.
15.
Yes.
Oh.
Into say May 2015 no na almost free dia. Then it means say from May 2025 no and na over to me I indefinite leave to remain application no.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. Nti sɛ wotu yɛ yie na ɛyɛ early stages of time a wonya a wo
Yeah.
2.5 ne deɛ a, it's
Yeah.
possible. But sɛ ɛkɔba ne sɛ ɛyɛ ano ano ha yi adeɛ neɛ gye a te sɛ
Yeah.
wotwa 2.5 no. Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Yo,
Yeah.
yɛate aseɛ. Yɛate aseɛ. Lioness, yɛda ase bebree. Etiefoɔ no ahwɛfoɔ sɛ afei na wabɛjoin ne a, yɛka about gap a ɛba yɛ applications mu na yɛkɔyɛ indefinite ne aka kyerɛ yɛn sɛ daabi qualifying period na nso nti san kɔtwa 2.5 bio ɛno asɛm ɛna yɛreka na lawyer Eunice abɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu kwan a wobɛtumi afa so sɛ wowɔ evidence biribi na ɛkyerɛ wo susɔ wo nan saa abere no mu akwantuo mu anaasɛ criminal deɛ no yɛntumi anka hɔ ba mɛbisa later anaa biribi ɛno nti na wɔntumi ntwa wɔntumi anyɛ wɔntwa qualifying period ne nyinaa nti no home office mfa ma ɔnyɛ evidence ne deɛ a ɔmo hwɛ evidence na ɔmo ho sɛ ɛtɔ asom a ɔmo de wo indefinite ne bɛma ɛno asɛm ɛna yɛka dodoɔ no a mo adwene no yɛ nyame nhyira mo tilidoma meda ase Coco ɔse yes currently you get create your e-visa once you get your decision letter in Ghana. Oh, okay. Currently, yo, na kyerɛ sɛ no na lawyer Eunice kyerɛkyerɛ mu wonya decision letter na apɛ no wobɛtumi acreate your e-visa. Yɛda ase. Ɛna Daniel Pon nso sɛ manyɛ good to see you again. Your face is shining. Oh, meda ase. That's why. See, like a morning star. Yay. What's me anope? Nyame nhyira wo nso Daniel. Osamba, so good morning to gorgeous lawyer Eunice. Welcome back on board. Yo, yeah, that's it. If you kunedu ebisa question. Na me bisa na fe me be telephone lines na yɛ de bedi dwuma no. And telephone lines no yo you be use so ufre you can say 07399208468 na be page asanso na ufre WhatsApp line no and I say when po de program into way to me a friend normal so 075966205154 no way to me a friend na yeah ma yeah, hope we say next time now you bet me I get it all our numbers. Cynthia Daniel say hi lawyer Eunice about ILR. How long it takes to be processing please. Okay. Let's just say timing initial update no processing period no bisa for ILR no. Eunice, processing period there,
Yes.
how many way?
Yeah, so for indefinite leave to remain applications, no anchor application routes na our government website no so. But most applications under the UKVI no almost a standard period of service 6 months. And so even with British nationality
Mm,
applications and that's the naturalization applications no so
mm,
the standard period is 6 months. Until
okay,
what happens is that they will send an email to let you know, say, almost process your application and the time period for which they would have your application processed by. So they usually send an email to that effect until say past that dates now, and then you know, say you have to contact them. And usually the date that they give is within a 6 month period anyway.
okay,
Until they never go over that date. They
okay.
try and make sure that they stay within
Within
that
that
date.
6 months
Yeah.
period. Thank you very much. Yenya call back wɔ line so. Mpacho adofo a wokasa metie ye fra so
Hello.
na wokasa free.
Good morning.
Good morning papa. Apon boko
Pacho,
there.
the family Kokubuatu because of free Dagina.
Yo, kweku
Pacho,
anope
me
waba.
person me busa
Mhm.
lawyer Eunice say the more can the media the bikura masitna dada. Na person
Mhm.
me busa say ni ya ba ko na ofi okwa ko na sitna. Na
Okay.
so na sitna na okwa no. Almost say ebe cost no 1,500. Na
Mhm.
owo in film owo yiyu no so. and I feel so yes, no, say because so 1,500. And the person we can say, now home office fee, no, Paso, assistant, no, a party, a course, say.
Asitina ben na okano. Sorry. Eunice
Indefinite.
Bisano.
Pastor Deben, what's it roots bang?
No, that under EU route, or no wife, under EU ni route, the man 5 years, na 5 years, no, asun. No, pursue indefinite. Now, indefinite, no, no, pursue, who say, home office fee, no, ever cost, because Nipan also, a man, so, 1,500.
Okay, for EU, there almost need fees be into EU routes, whether pre-settled and as a settled status, no. There's no home office fees into a free application.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's it. That's it. And one of them said, Ibisa. That's it.
Yeah.
Mensu ya dasi. Papa share program ne maya why? Thank you. Yo. Your question ba konso ewa ha main Fred. If you could do ebisa lawyer say, lawyer, please. Good morning. Please, I want to ask what I will need if I am relying on my British child for the 2.5 stay. Then will be here, so or rely on a British child.
Okay, into most people who are under the parent route, it's ultimately a relationship. Into first of all, you are showing say akwalano or ba or you're under the age of 18. And then you also have to be able to show whether the child is British or settled or has lived there continuously for 7 years. And see, most people show that the child is British by way of passports, and also on a settlement, no, by way of a home office decision letter, which shows that your man indefinite. Um, if the child has lived there for a 7 year continuous period, and or na certain so why you would show them evidence of na certain na or not based on the fact that what has for 7 years. Into depending on whether the child is a qualifying child, you have to show evidence of that as well. And I saw to make sure so will play active role in a colonial life. Into if you are playing an active role in the child's life, either say to me any evidence of the GP and I say of the school to show say or call for parents evening and now the akwalano schools and kopekino and now the akwalano GP appointments into sayama we ni nano almost. And of course, if you are saying, say, you are living together with this child and you are also working, then they will need evidence of full pay slips or bank statements with remem letter and with tenancy agreement as well to show, say, of course, only a colana net say no. You will definitely need to add those documents. And application be our obeying so no. What checklist after the application into you can also look at the checklist to see what documents you need to take.
Okay, yenya kola ba konso ewa homane so. Hello kola mpacho waba program ne so. Uka sa free miante unka.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Lechia, Eunice. And I've heard you about now me person me question about me who know every year. Now this year, there's all my medicine na me who know, but me afraid I then go through later on na.
Okay.
Me say on Tiapo, and me afraid city now was not cancel for social and. Hello.
Yetio, koso yetio.
Okay. So social worker now can send me hold on or put me to the right place, and you know, or they make or direct call to no social worker, and on the medium command also. There is a bad news now. My man and Tiapo or when you stroke, but on to recover. And no social normal okay, or more the boyfriend so my request is media obi ntete meba nti no mepɛ sɛ megye akora no so ɔka kyerɛ me sɛ ɛntimi nyɛ ɛna anaasɛ ɔkyena but it will take 1 week to 2 weeks get you back to me nti na mebisa lawyer sɛ mɛtumi asa afrɛ social worker no aputu pressure on him anaasɛ men relax na mentwɛn ne kɔ
Wasɛm kafra la Eunice mpacho yenua be man ni dalema
Yeah.
obe
Now, Okami say he used to see them every time. Is it because on a Omameno Ewo in Tiasebi and I say he had an order or what was it based on?
Any problem be I just say on your boyfriend no move away because now boy is on your comfortable close to baby I'm in anyone you know boy and move call away far away London but minimum
Okay.
honor baby on what but I know the school and the main one canon and my friend London for no bizarre or more lady transfer call to the social worker.
Okay. I just wanted to understand say when the mama no I can say at least ube to me ashren kolano into say through that no na afraid or say on to me Emma or any contact with Nkolano because of the new boyfriend there, then I will say you can call the social workers again to find out when you will be giving the children. Otherwise, so go through the family court to apply for child arrangement order.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
is it cost? So me case may call for court we see family court now. Is it going to cost me or me
Oh
entitled
yes.
to public fund? Very free.
No. So because you want to have contact with your children, usually that doesn't come under legal aid. It will cost you to obviously have a solicitor representing you. It will cost you if a barrister needs to attend the hearing. And so the court will also charge you a fee for filling in the form. So everything is at a cost. It is not cheap, and it can take 1 to 2 years depending on court availability and also how well and able the parties are in terms of you obviously um, going along with the court directions, and I said the other party going along with the court directions. It is very, very important. So Ubehun said there are going to be a lot of cost involved in having a child arrangement order granted to you.
Okay, okay. That's it.
And that, yeah, in
yes
trouble.
so yeah that's it papa yo yenya odofo bi nso e wa ahoma ne so bi mpacho kola o frefre hi mayante wonka hello oh em se wentimi engina so yo nanka obi nso ma me voice note ba em say voice note no ba emba nti pacho wo a wo send voice note no obetumi assign ne voice note ni biom it's not coming clearer emba me bo a emba why san send ni biom yo etiefo se afa no adwene a yeguso wa ha na abna asante enso ebisa what do I do if my visa expires in 20 days before my indefinite leave to remain. And yes, send my application.
Right? Because so okay, say if my visa has expired, dear, then I would have said,
Uh-huh.
say, of
Uh-huh.
course, say was it not new? And
Mm-hmm.
after 20 days, who say was it not new? Person
Mm-hmm.
yeah, indefinitely to remain application, dear. Then do you fall under compelling and compassionate circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
or do you fall under yeah, kind of said national or international environmental issues or pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I say you are saying say for one reason or the other now because of ABI or family armed forces into because ABI or call army human binti they should also consider. I mean, if you don't fall under any of the exceptions, then you
Mm.
will have to definitely apply for 2.5 nibium because it's out to me application na ansa na
So,
wasetena na
so,
ewu.
ew,
Nti sɛ wasane wuyɛ di a ɛnɛ wobɛyɛ application no.
megye di
Yeah.
sɛ ɔka sɛ expire 20 days ansa ne wei no
Uh-huh.
nti no abena bɔ mmɔden a na kɔhu lawyers no na ɔmo de wo dwuma na with your evidence of ne nti a expire 20 days a wantumi anya application no ai hello kɔla mpatwɔ waba BWF Solicitors legal hour so wokasa frɛ me yɛnte wo nka.
Good morning.
Good
I just
morning.
said, Mumu
Adom
so
nko
welcome
a
back.
yɛ ho yɛ. Thank you, thank you.
Actually, the same lawyer Eunice, about the difference between these two links is about
Okay.
set M and our family life as a partner or parents and exceptional circumstance accessibility. What's the difference between those two um,
Okay.
uh, uh, form? No?
You Eunice.
So set M is usually applications for those who are only applying under the partner route. Into so oh yeah, indefinite leave to remain application under the partner route there, then you will complete a set M application. And I know say you were saying say application for those applying under the partner or parents route. Usually, any application under the partner or the parent's roots or under exceptional circumstances or private life will be an application based on your human rights. Into either say over fill it in from FLRFP, or if it is just mainly based on human rights, there's also FLR HRO. Into it depends on wo circumstances are no.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yɛn nso yɛda ase. So wahyɛ program ne deɛ. Yo, yɛda ase. Nana Abena Asante say ne COS ends 20 days before Mami Sankan biom. Ɔse my COS ends okay, my COS visa ends 20 days before my indefinite leave to remain. Ah, maintain Papa. Okay, my school worker COS will expire 20 days before my indefinite leave to remain. Can I still apply for indefinite leave to remain? Me,
Okay,
me.
after now, the follow-up question about
Okay,
it's
okay.
I think it's a ABA over man 5 years COS.
Yes,
And
yes.
COS no be woo 20 days before I'll bet to me I application for indefinite leave to remain. I'll bet to me
Okay.
at so I indefinite leave to remain there.
Uh-huh.
No, unfortunately, you cannot make an application for
Oh,
yes, because you
sir.
are short of the 5 years. It is almost a 5 years and they expect say wasitana omodema or no. It
Uh-huh.
will cover that whole continuous period of 5 years.
Chai.
Or if it's yes, if it's 60 months, it will cover the 60-month
60 months. No.
period. Yes. Otherwise, then cover that 60-month period now you have to go for another extension before I'll wait to me apply for indefinite leave to remain.
Hey,
Yes.
wait
And
there,
remember,
Irene.
yes, so if you are under the skilled worker route and you are applying for indefinite, you must show that the employer is willing to
To,
continue, yeah, I
with
mean,
you.
you on your contract and I say continue you
Ah,
in employment. So you can't say you are making application for indefinite leave, well, bra, won't need you, ma. So you definitely need to be able
ah.
to
Hey,
um
Nana Abna, minimum Nana Abna Santi say, what from why? Yo, into when no dear, Bomodia say, company, I only a muye jumano, no more renew mouth, or sa surety of continuing working with you. And then, omo de ma, now why yes up, why indefinite leave to remain application? Why? Yo, Crucia Anelka say, please, can I apply for indefinite leave to remain as a care worker with my employer's license revoked? Yay.
unfortunately not.
It's very
Because
sad.
yes,
Really,
because
really sad.
they've revoked their license. It means that when you do so
Mm,
it means you should have another employer
mm,
who you are working for and who you will continue to work for after you've been granted your indefinite leave to
mm.
remain.
Oh,
It's crucial.
Anelka
Yeah.
is really, really sad. I know maybe you are almost due 5 years, but because of the revocation of the sponsorship license, you cannot. Bomodia na ye ni obetumi aye. Why? Yo, Ike Nana Apia, say good morning, lawyer. Please, is it true someone who is on dependent on skilled worker marry an EU national? Is it true? Yeah, not we know.
Yeah.
Okay, but I hope say I'm thinking his accent says, is it true someone who is on dependent skilled worker can marry an EU national? I think that is what he's trying to Ike, if that's not so, you can rewrite the question and then come back with it. We have few minutes to go. Why? Okay, nti sɛ
Yeah.
lawyer sɛ ɛba ne sɛ dependent betumi aware obi foforɔ a kwan bɛn na ɔsɛ ɔfa so.
And say, I think so. This is one topic I opinion Mr. Bernardo Wusu. I can't who
Mm,
asked him last weekend in the
mm,
previous week. No, so when
mm,
it comes to making applications, because you are switching into ABA, now you're dependent. What they are
mm,
worrying about,
mm.
when you'll be a open wasema or also person worry wo.
Yeah.
Into nipa kono so per se or worry in then of
Mm,
course you have to divorce nipa na on the buyer. Once you've
mm,
got the divorce documents, you can go ahead and marry nipa na or self no.
mm,
Nti sɛ ɔyɛ EU need deɛ then you have to be able to show say saa nipa na ɔyɛ EU ne no ɔno nso
mm,
ɛwɔ pre-settled anaasɛ settled status ɛwɔ kurom ha ɛna
mm,
wo a woyɛ formally dependent on a skilled worker no
mm,
wo nso woyɛ application on the basis sɛ afei deɛ woaware nipa wei wasetena ne nya nwuyɛ wobɛtumi meet relationship requirements, immigration status requirements, financial
mm,
requirements no any accommodation in English.
mm,
Nti because wobɛtumi meet requirements wei nyinaa no ɔmo ɛmfa nkrataa no ɛma wo. Yes, it is
okay.
possible, but you have to make sure that you are divorced first.
Mm. Yo, Ike, bɔmmɔden na gya awareɛ ntɛm na san ware foforɔ. Why? Na wiase biribiara yɛ possible. Foriwa amanfo Priscilla, or say, does EU or British citizen pay for health surcharge? So be it, at least all your health worker. Anna, menya ne wrong.
Yeah,
My
oh yeah, EU application. There won't share health surcharge because there's no
oh,
application fee for those EU applications. So oh
okay.
yeah, British nationality application to say naturalization, there you don't
Mm,
pay any health surcharge because oh but yeah British there won't your health surcharge there because oh
mm,
yeah oh yeah British.
British.
It's the
Okay.
only people who pay health surcharge, even indefinite from also into a health surcharge because when you're a now and we here so with here health surcharge.
Health.
Into the only
uh,
people that pay for the health surcharge
Limited
for
for
almost
no.
amount at six now, which is less than 6 months, or
Mm,
and they are not applying for indefinite leave to remain
definitely.
or any British
Okay.
nationality application.
Okay,
Yes.
yo, it's good we've got it right. Say tie for na hwɛ for na obi wɔ line so but they ato so nti no. Ye invite ye nuaba lawyer Annie na on for the English version of the topic now we've educated ourselves now on for beto so and so you are welcome. Good morning, lawyer Annie.
Good morning to you all, to our viewers and listeners as well, and happy Friday to you. So, the topic for today was, can I still apply for indefinite leave to remain if at some point my leave expired before I applied again? So, an applicant may be applying for indefinite leave to remain based on their 10-year lawful residence in the UK, or based on their private life, family life, whereby they perhaps were on 2.5, and they renewed it like 4 times. So as part of that application, you as an applicant, you would have to prove that you were in the UK continuously, the continuous residence, because the Home Office, as part of the application, they will request for a copy of your passport and every page within that passport, because they want to know how many times you've left the UK. Yes, so as part of the application, you have to show that you were in the UK lawfully. So, like, let's say you were in the UK for 10 years, lawful residence, you have to ensure that you were in the UK lawfully, which means that you had leave to remain. Like, let's say you had a BRP card 4 times, and that you were not illegal in the UK at any point. And then you would also have to prove continuous residence. And Lawyer Eunice was talking about the time frame. So you have to ensure that within every 12 months, you were not outside of the UK for more than 180 days. That's really important to note. And also within the whole 10-year period that you were in the UK, you have to ensure that you were not outside of the UK for more than 548 days, which is roughly a year and a half. So we looked at what could potentially break continuous residence. So if you were in prison at some point, Lawyer Eunice said that that wouldn't break your continuous residence. However, the time that you were in prison for wouldn't count towards your continuous residence. So, like, let's say you were in prison for 6 months, then the 6 months wouldn't count towards your 10 years lawful residence. And if, like, let's say an application was submitted in before November 2016, in that case, the applicant would have 28 days in which to submit a new application. But in that case, they would have to prove that, okay, so let me say, if someone's leave expired and for some reason or another they were not able to submit the application in time before their leave expired, the person would have 28 days in which to submit another fresh application, but they would have to prove as part of the application why the application was submitted late. But if you are now submitting an application, you have 14 days in which to submit a fresh application if your leave has expired. But as part of that, you'd have to explain why specifically you didn't submit your application before the expiry of your leave to remain. So, for example, if you didn't have money, if that's what your argument is, then you'd have to provide as part of the application potentially your bank statements to show that at the time that your leave was expiring, you didn't have enough money in your account to actually pay for the application. So there has to definitely be a good reason as to why you submitted the application after the expiry of your leave to remain. And then there are also exceptional circumstances in which continuous residence wouldn't be broken. So, for example, if the applicant is an army personnel and at some point they had to travel outside of the UK because they were on duty and they were out of the UK for a long time, that might not necessarily break continuous residence because they were on duty doing their work. Or even if an applicant submitted a fee waiver and the Home Office, so let's say they submitted the fee waiver before their leave expired, and then the Home Office made a decision, let's say a few months later, and then the Home Office refused the fee waiver for one reason or another. In that case, the applicant would have 10 working days or 10 days in which to submit a fresh application. So that wouldn't break continuous residence. Or even if there was some type of international circumstance like a pandemic, COVID, or anything like that, you can potentially rely on that as long as what you're saying goes along with evidence, or even you could rely on compassionate and compelling circumstances. Let's say someone in your family was critically unwell. Let's say the person lives in Ghana, and you just had to go to Ghana to care for the person for a long time. Let's say in a year, more than 180 days. In that case, you would have to provide, as part of the application, proof, of course, that the person was unwell. So you have to make sure that if your leave has expired, you have to rely on evidence as part of the application to explain why the application wasn't submitted in time. Yeah, so if you're not able to prove that, then unfortunately, you the Home Office, when you submit an application for indefinite leave to remain, they may come back to say that you're not eligible for indefinite leave to remain, and so they might put you on another 2.5. So that is important to note. I hope this helps. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Lawyer Annie Akufio Soa. It's here for MC Aha, near the Jumedian Baby, and Yamia Adumochna, the community and the law. A beba so den answer na mema mo close note no me Mrs. Penny lawyer, Papa B, oh my. Sɛ biribi wɔ hɔ a ɔde bɛgya yɛ ansa na yɛakɔ akɔtwa na wɔtwe no asan aba bio mu a ɔmfa nto dwa. Other than that no, wode atwa me ba la Eunice, ɛdɛn na wode bɛgya yɛ ne?
Oh, and then there, I'm so grateful for Ashafwa. Want to me a share program. No mama na ye kama. And see, as my kind, I know say when it comes to your immigration, some there unko for pese omu bisa omu sem dodo na pese omu ne no ya ne kasa. Of course, mube to me ene edin kita ho. Yeah, office number no was screen or so. Wobɛtumi afrɛ yɛn every Monday to Friday bia from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. I know say the next Monday a bank holiday nti yɛn nso yɛnnu hɔ, but you can still phone to book an appointment, whether face to face anaasɛ whether telephone or Zoom. Yɛbɛtumi ne wo edi nkita ho. And I mean, immigration yeah, family issues, yeah, in some civil litigation issues. And see, some pɛ sɛ mo ne edi nkita ho deɛ mon frɛ yɛn na yɛn ne mo edi nkita ho na yɛhu the best way forward a yɛbɛtumi aboa mo with more issues. Yɛda mo ase bebree. Yɛbɔ mpae sɛ ndasɛndɛ yɛbɛtumi ahyia bio.
Yo la Eunice, yenso yɛda wase bebree with the daddy lumba ne kan yɛda wase bebree nyame nhyira wo etiefo na ahwɛfo aha na dwumadie no bɛma yɛn ho kwan na yɛmfa embesi megye de sɛ wonya wo kyɛfa wɔ mu sɛ wonya yɛn mpo a nka telephone lines no ɛda so ɛwɔ screen ase you can continue to call them anytime. Omo emergency number here 07712761884. Who fresh emergency number na definitely and into emergency be bejo so obi bisa me say our airport na ye chino and I say ko detain no because same be an inkrata asem ne ade a or to me friend lawyers na me say why not omo de omo 24/7 nti sa emergency na me fa hye okotoko mu baabi a wo bia emra achew emra na achew enye bibia emra na achew wo gidi say ade we de emra ti say lawyer twitwa gimia no wafrɛ sa lawyer si na omo tumi say case no enye omo jurisdiction a they will even what ombema obi a obetumi aba be twitwa say oho na nipa ne expertise wa obeba aba betwitwa agye nti no call this 07712761884 as an emergency anytime any day 24/7 nyame nhyira BWF Solicitors fo nyinaa etiefo a mohwɛ mu nso nyame nka yɛn ho next week same time same place yɛbɛsra ahoɔden na yɛntumi nsambra nyame nka yɛn ho have a lovely weekend bye bye.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner. With over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.